Hey guys, what's up? Dingo Crikey here with another video, and this one is going to be another Takara vs Hasbro video. In this one we're going to be looking at the Optimus Maximus combiner from both Hasbro's Combiner Wars line and Takara's Unite Warriors line. Simple setup for this one, just a side-by-side image comparison. Takara's Unite Warriors figures will be on the left, Hasbro's Combiner Wars figures will be on the right. Overall, it will be an objective comparison, just looking at the figures' differences with a few opinions thrown in here and there. And when you're done with the video, remember to vote on this video's poll for which version of the figures do you like better. And first up we have Deluxe Class Ironhide. Now out of all of the figures, these guys probably share the most similarities, but if you take a closer look, especially at the chest area, you will see some significant differences. For example, in the chest, or I guess I should say the whole body, we see the Unite Warriors one has a whole lot of silver, where on the other hand, Combiner Wars does have some silver in there, but red is a primary color, and then instead of the connector piece being gray as it is on the Unite Warriors one, it's entirely black on Combiner Wars. The arms also have some differences, namely in the Unite Warriors version we have the upper arms being red and the hands being painted black, and in the Combiner Wars version the upper arms are gray and hands are left red. There are a few differences in the vehicle modes, though none too significant in my opinion. One of the most subtle, though I would argue most important differences, would be the tone of red between these two guys. For me, that makes me lean toward the Unite Warriors version, though I will say that some of the colors in the body look nicer in my opinion on the Combiner Wars version, where we have that black to add a little bit more contrast. Personally, I don't have really strong opinions one way or the other because they look pretty similar, but in case G1 accuracy is the make or break issue for you, here we have a comparison of them with an artist's rendition of their G1 counterpart, and I would argue the Takara one looks to be more Generation 1 accurate, though keep in mind that none of these Optimus Maximus molds were made for these characters. These are all just repaints, and none of these characters were originally intended to be combiners. Nevertheless, the Takara version seems to strive to put the colors in the right places to make it look more G1 accurate. That isn't necessarily a knock against the Combiner Wars one though. Whereas Takara often strives for cartoon or G1 accuracy, Hasbro a lot of times tries to have their own take on things, and for some people they may prefer that because G1 accuracy might not be an issue for them. Next we have Deluxe Class Mirage, and right off the bat there are some key differences here. For one, there's a very stark contrast between the shades of blue that they both use, and much of the placement of the white is similar, but the Combiner Wars one does have much more white in the lower legs, whereas the Unite Warriors one body looks entirely different, as not only is the majority of the body white, but also the connector piece is left white as well, whereas the Combiner Wars one obviously has that colored blue. Other than that, Combiner Wars one has a little bit more silver on the head, and well, they do have the screws. Initially they look to have almost the same amount of black, but Unite Warriors one does of course have his hands colored in black as well. They both have about an equal amount of red, though in different places. In the vehicle modes they may initially appear to be really similar outside of the shade of blue, but if you look at the detailing on the side of the cars, it is quite different in fact. I honestly can't decide if the dark blue looks better on this mold or if I like the light blue better. They both seem to work out pretty well. However, if you're looking for G1 accuracy, I would think the Unite Warriors one has it down in this case. The tone of blue, the best that they could do with this mold as far as placing the details, looks to be more G1 accurate in this case. Next we have Voyager Class Optimus Prime, and I don't think that there are as many striking differences in this case. The Unite Warriors one does look to be much more red heavy, and it's not only that the waist area is painted more red, but you can also see where the arms are connected, those are painted red as well, whereas they are gray on the Combiner Wars version. Other than that, the arms look pretty similar, same with the guns, even the Autobot symbols, and even the legs are pretty close. We do have some differences, as the feet in the Unite Warriors one are just left blue, they're colored gray on Combiner Wars, and then we have the flaps on the insides of the legs being different colors. I would say those are pretty much the same differences in vehicle mode, you know, the Unite Warriors one being more red heavy. However, he does appear to have more paint applications in the front of the truck, at least in the lower part, the bumper area, and whereas the Combiner Wars one leaves the wheels entirely black, the Unite Warriors one does color the wheels separately from the tires. My personal thoughts, outside of that last detail being a big plus for the Unite Warriors version, I think I would go with the Combiner Wars one in this case. Because for me personally, I'm not too crazy about this mold, which is already a big, blocky looking one, being so heavy on the red. I think when you have molds like this, you need to kind of vary the colors a little bit more, and in my personal opinion, Combiner Wars did that better. Some people may think differently, just my personal feelings on this guy. And here we have both Optimus Primes compared with their G1 counterpart. The design itself is actually pretty similar, be it it's much more stocky and does have more kibble. As far as colors go, well, we can see that neither pairs of legs match the colors of the original one perfectly. However, I would say that Takara comes closer because of the blue feet. The arms look to have pretty much the same amount of accuracy, but we do have those hinges that connect the arms being left red on Unite Warriors and being gray on Combiner Wars. He doesn't have those on the original, but we can see it's just red in that area. However, the way that Combiner Wars body is colored does look to be more accurate, at least according to this artist interpretation. So I think this one's a toss-up. If I were looking for G1 accuracy, I think I would go with the Unite Warriors one in this case. However, I can definitely see an argument being made for either one. Next, we have Deluxe Class Prowl, and at a glance, I have to admit, I thought these guys looked pretty much the same, as a lot of their colors are the same, but the placement of colors is almost entirely different on these guys. Let's look at the arms first. Basically, on Unite Warriors, we have white upper arms, black lower arms, and white hands. On the Combiner Wars version, we have half white, half black upper arms, white lower arms, and black hands. So they're using the same colors, but just by changing the placement, they can make some really interesting differences. The heads look to be pretty similar, but even on that chest piece, it's primarily white, and we do have the black around the rim. But on the Unite Warriors one, we do have some blue paint in there, and we also have the piece that connects that chest piece being left white on Unite Warriors and being colored black on Combiner Wars. And the lower body, I think you just need to take a good look at it to see all of the differences we have going on there. Moving on to the legs, Unite Warriors 1 has them gray, Combiner Wars, they're black. Even in the lower legs, if you take a closer look, the Unite Warriors one probably has a little bit more black because of a few additional details. The vehicle modes are much more similar, but if you look at the sides of the car, the way the black is utilized is even a little bit different there. And of course, we have Unite Warriors painting the wheels and tires separately, whereas Combiner Wars just leaves the entire piece black. Personal opinions on this guy, it's pretty hard for me to choose because both of them have their own merits and they're both really different looking. I could see going either way, I could definitely see arguments for either one, but I'm going to go with Combiner Wars version because I like the way they distribute the black better, especially on the arms and on the way they do it in that chest area. I think it just helps it be a little bit more balanced, whereas the Unite Warriors one, I could see it being a little bit white heavy. As far as G1 accuracy, the mold in itself is so different looking from his Generation 1 design. I honestly can't say with these guys. I would probably go with Unite Warriors if I had to pick though. Next, we have Deluxe Class Sunstreaker, and these guys probably have the most striking differences, and that's probably because of the type of yellow used in each. But I think what's also a significant difference is the fact that the Unite Warriors version has much more yellow altogether. In the Combiner Wars version, we have the lower body being yellow, but then the waist is black and the upper legs are gray. All of that is yellow on the Unite Warriors version, which being at the figure's core, I would argue, has a pretty big effect on the look of the figure as a whole. But other than that, they pretty much have the same paint placement, though, you know, it's different on the shoulders of being black on Unite Warriors than red on Combiner Wars. The way that the lower legs and lower arms are colored is pretty much the same. We do have his blaster being colored black in the Unite Warriors version, and then it being silver in Combiner Wars. The vehicle modes are fairly similar outside of the color of yellow that they use. Many of the paint placements are similar. They both have a lot of yellow altogether, and the Combiner Wars version even has the wheels painted separately from the tires this time. It does appear that the Combiner Wars version has more paint on the side of the vehicle, whereas the Unite Warriors one just leaves it all yellow. I know I probably have a minority opinion here, but in this case I much prefer the Combiner Wars version, primarily due to the shade of yellow. I'm not a big fan of the one they used on the Unite Warriors version. I'm personally like that more neon yellow color, but I could definitely see people disagreeing. It's just kind of a preference thing. We can see in regards to G1 accuracy, the Unite Warriors one does seem to nail it in this case. Combiner Wars 1 is a very different take on the character. And here's a quick shot of Legends class Rodimus. He is advertised as combining to Optimus Maximus in the Combiner Wars version of the line, and the Unite Warriors version does not have an equivalent of Rodimus, but I thought that I would show you guys anyways. And here we have the final comparison of both teams' Optimus Maximus forms. Two disclaimers I want to put out there. One, I accidentally put them on the wrong side, so in this comparison, Takara's version's on the right, Combiner Wars is on the left, sorry about that. And while obviously they both use Optimus as the body, the limbs on the Combiner Wars ones are simply the Wave 1 figures. I couldn't find any official image with Optimus connected to the Wave 4 Combiners, so I think you can kind of get an idea of what the Combiner Wars limbs would look like by looking at the Unite Warriors ones, because the shades of are obviously kind of different, but still, you know, kind of the same color schemes. The main difference we have is what Optimus adds, and we do have some similarities still, as the Optimus molds were very similar in themselves, but we do have some big differences, such as the upper legs. The colors are very different, especially the color placement. Also, the piece around his lower abdominal area is blue on Combiner Wars and gray on Unite Warriors, and obviously in these images they have the chest transformed a different way. I don't believe that area is all too different. We can see some differences, like a little bit more red on where the arms connect in the Unite Warriors version, but that's really all I have to say. Personally, I think the Unite Warriors one has a little bit of an edge here because I kind of like the way the black looks. Also, kind of envisioning what the Combiner Wars ones would look like combined to Optimus. I think the darker colors on the Unite Warriors one will probably flow together better. I'm sure other people would have differing opinions here. Altogether, owning a Battle Core Optimus and combining him with the Wave 4 figures, not too crazy about this combined form, and I think that's a pretty popular opinion in the community. So I think this is a little bit of a toss-up as far as the individual members. Maybe I like the Combiner Wars ones better in this case, though. The Unite Warriors ones are definitely cool in their own right, and I could definitely see some people liking them better. I mean, they do appear to be more Generation 1 accurate as well. Either way, I think either team works better in their individual forms rather than the combined form for this case. Anyways, thanks for watching this video, and I really hope you guys enjoyed it. I plan to do at least 2 more Unite Warriors vs. Combiner Wars videos comparing both lines' versions of Devastator and Bruticus. In this video, along with which team you preferred, in this case you can vote for which comparison you would like to see next. I also plan to do Takara vs. Hasbro videos for the upcoming Titans Return line. Altogether though, you can keep up with the channel for more regular Transformers content. I upload on Monday, Wednesdays, and Friday, so 3 videos a week, lots of cool stuff. Hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for watching, stay tuned, and have a good one, guys. I'll see you soon.